still kind of fresh right now, but it sounds like you kind of got control of yourself even in just the little time you've had. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Well, it sucks, to come out here and put in a camp like this. This was a very hard camp for me. I was sick the whole time, and it was very emotional for me. Even making weight was like an emotional experience for me. So this was an emotional fight. I had a lot to prove to myself that I could just dig it out, and I really wanted this to be a tough, hard fight. And for it to end the way that it did is sad. I'm sure I'll go through the steps and try to appeal it first thing in the morning. But I don't want to take anything away from Bobby. I think he fought a great fight. I think he's improved a lot. His striking's improved a lot, and he's a tough fighter. So I don't want to take anything away from the guy. He came out and he fought a tough fight, and I had his back the whole first round. And to be able to defend when I have your back, that you're pretty good at defending your back because I can choke anybody from there. So I really don't want to take anything away from the guy, but I will say I wasn't out. I wasn't close to being out. It was tight when he first sat through with it. It's kind of like a Mars position. When he first sat through with it, my arm was across. It was very tight. When I got my arm out and I extended, that took a lot of the pressure off, and I was relaxing because I knew the only way anybody who rolls, come on, guys, I know somebody in here has to do jiu-jitsu. If a guy's got a march like that, and he's burning his arms out, the guy was squeezing for probably a straight minute. His arms, by the time that the ref pulled him off of me, he was about to let go. It wasn't tight anymore. He had already let go of half of his squeeze, so I relaxed. I see what they're saying, but I was here and I came here and I just relaxed. If he would have tried to walk his feet to my feet, I would have stiffened up. I would have walked my feet away. It's basic. It's basic stuff here. So.
Did the ref give you an exact explanation of what he saw or why he made this?
He said that he saw my eyes flutter, is what he said.
And when you watch the replay, you don't?
I don't need to watch the replay. I said, there's no fucking way my eyes fluttered because I wasn't in any way, shape, or form out. I remember the whole thing. I remember exactly what happened. I know exactly what was going through my mind. I was defending it perfect. And when I got here, I was going to wait for him to let go. He was going to burn his arms out. We're at elevation. He was squeezing for a straight minute. You squeeze for a minute like that, and then you let me on top of you, it's going to be a long rest of the fight, I'll tell you that.
So at that moment, the exact moment, the squeeze wasn't that tight?
No. And as soon as he let me go, I said, what the fuck are you doing? And the ref was like, I'm sorry, I thought you were out. And I said, yeah, you should be fucking sorry. That's half of my check. This isn't something where I come in and I fight and I make my whole check regardless of what happens. If he fucks up, I lose half of my check. That's money for my family. That's money for me. These fight camps are expensive. Now I got to go through a whole nother fucking fight camp, and I basically just barely paid for this one.
I know you said you're going to go through the appeal process.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to make that. Is this a fight that you want to run back? Do you feel
I'd love to run it back, but yeah. I would love to run this fight back more than anything. But he's a young guy, and he's got a young career. And if I'm in his shoes, I say, I'm moving on, bro. I'm not going to go and rematch somebody that they, I would think that if they called it a no contest, he would want to. If they don't call it a no contest, I don't think he would want to, and I don't blame him. But do I want to? Absolutely. Yeah. Come on.
Do you think instant replay is something that is needed in the sport for stuff like this?
I do, but if you got a bunch of fucking dumbasses sitting around the camera that can't overturn something that's already happened, then what's the point?
What did you make of your performance up until then?
I apologize. I'm just a little heated. I'm not calling anybody a dumbass. I don't even know who was looking at the camera. I'm just saying, I don't see how, from watching that video, I don't see how they couldn't see I wasn't out, especially the immediate reaction. When you're choked out, you're fucking choked out. If you're unconscious, you're unconscious. You're not immediately like, what's going on? The ref's not immediately apologizing to you. So I'm sorry. What's the next question?
What do you think of your performance up until that moment?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. First round, I think I could have pushed a little harder for the finish. He was doing a good job of defending. And then when he stood up, I was intertwined there, and so it was kind of a tough spot for me to advance. And so I was just laying little rabbit punches. Obviously, I won the first. The second, I came out and I kind of relaxed. I wanted him to push a little bit, and I actually wanted him to shoot, and I was going to start a scramble from there. And when I got caught on my butt, I was perfectly fine. I reversed the position. I got on top. He hit the Mars, which I would have ended up on top anyways. But, I think it was good for the camp I had. These guys, my coaches and my teammates, they pushed me as hard as they possibly could, and I'm very grateful for that. But, I was sick a lot of the camp, and my body just was having a hard time. So I think I was doing good under the circumstances, but could I have done a lot better? Sure.
Are you hoping to take time off now if you were sick? You have to take time?
No, I'm just hitting my stride. You know, he caught me with a couple good shin kicks there, and I would like for that swelling to go down, but I'm going to be right back in the gym. I actually, like, the last 2 weeks, I actually just started hitting my stride to where I felt like I was kind of coming back into my own, because after this injury, you know, I had such a long layoff and my body just wasn't responding well, but it is now, and I can't wait to get back to the gym.
Speaking, go ahead.
So for the record, it was the ref said it was your eyes fluttering, not
He's,
the arm.
yes, so
On the
he,
replay, it looked like you grabbed your.
that's,
You tap a little bit, but it was really the ref shaking. Your
so
arm.
after they came back, he said something about my arm, but when he stopped it, I said, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm sorry, I thought you were out. He said, I thought I saw your eyes flutter. And I was like, well, my eyes weren't fucking fluttering. That's exactly what happened at that moment. After they watched the replay, I think I remember somebody saying something like, oh, no, when I was talking to Felder on the side of the cage, he said, well, it kind of looks like your arm went limp. And I said, well, I was fucking relaxing. You know, when you're caught in a submission, you don't want to, you know, when you're caught in a choke, you don't want to be, I'm not going to flex and bust out of it, you know?
They're gonna like some criticism of what people that say you were out was because you didn't flex your arm.
Yeah, I was
Which
relaxing. I was out. I wasn't choked. I wasn't choking, and I just relaxed. I mean, I do it all the time in practice. Anybody who rolls and has been caught and choked and just waited it out has done it. That's what you do.
I was going to say, being that so much high-level jiu-jitsu kind of is about staying calm in those
Yeah.
situations, it going back as far as officials go, do you think there's a better way to go about that? I mean, we've had that system of
I
shifting
think
arm.
that what he could have done is checked me. I think that I could have talked to him at that point. If he had said, I mean, there's sometimes that you can't, but if he had said anything to me, he didn't say anything to me. If he had said anything to me, I would have said, I'm okay. I told him in the locker room before, he told me this in the locker room before. He said, if you're caught in something, if I hear you yelling anything, I'm going to figure it's a verbal submission. And I said, I have a tendency to say, I'm okay. And he said, well, if I hear you yelling or scream or anything, I'm going to assume that it's a verbal submission. So you don't want me to talk? You do want me to talk? Well, you want me to relax? You want me to flex and bust out of it? What do you want me to do?
What happened to your elbow? I heard it was Tommy John. You don't really hear that much.
Yeah, Tom. Well, when I was fighting Jason Knight, the first minute and a half of the fight, I went to do a standing pass. I took him down. I went to stand up, and he just threw he went to throw a triangle up, and I stood up out of it, and I left my arm dangle, and he just grabbed it and popped his hips in just like a weird freak thing, and it just pop. It broke in the joint, and it tore the major ligaments or tendons or something running my elbow. So I had like a baseball pitcher surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charles. We appreciate it.
Sorry guys, if I just get a little emotional. It's half my fucking